Man, oh man, are the Calgary Flames looking quite dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going? Hopefully, you guys are having a great day. If you are new, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's try and hit 100 subs by the end of, I don't know, by the end of the month. I think that's possible, maybe. But the Calgary Flames just made a splash today. Oh man, let's go right into it. They signed Jonathan Huberdeau to a 8th-year deal worth an average of $10.5 million. Not only that, they also signed, I think it was 2 days ago, I missed it. They also signed 2 other players. Andrew Mangiapane, who is now on a 3-year deal worth $5.8 million, and Oliver Shillington on a 2-year deal worth a average of, or a AAV average of $2.5 million. Now, the Calgary Flames are locking in their players, and I like all of these deals, to be honest, except maybe for one. Now, first of all, I'll talk about Mangiapane. He is such a fantastic player, man. I think it was during, let me go check his stats again. I think it was during the actual bubble, where... Was it the, yeah, I think it was a shortened season. He had 32 points in 56 games. Last year, he had 55 points, hitting the 35 goal mark in 82 games. I'm telling you, when he played the Habs every single time, I'm telling you, this guy kept scoring. I don't know what the hell was going on, but he's only 26 years old. He's a left winger for the Calgary Flames. I like this deal on a nice 3-year, $5.8 million. And I think it shouldn't be, I don't see it that high for him. I think he is a great player to have. I hope to see him to play on the first line with Huberdeau and Lindholm. I think he deserves it. He'd probably be their best forward, not counting Huberdeau. If we go look at his stats from Andy and Rono, his stats, he's got some great offensive touch. He's got an 85. Now, these are values on offense, defense, and transition. He's got a great transition game with high danger assists, entry passes, possession exits. He's a great two-way player who could play on the PK. So for me, this, I don't know. I don't know how many points I'd see this guy getting next year. I would like to see him on the first line. If he would be on the first line, I could see him in the 70-point range. I'm not even kidding, man. I see him in a 70-point range. He hit 55 points last year. If he could play with Huberdeau, he is a scorer. He could get around 65 to 75-ish points. So that is for me for Andrew Mangiapane. Next, Oliver Shillington. This is a guy who's very underrated. If you go look at his stats last year, he had 9 goals, 22 assists for 31 points. Now, if we go look at the defensive core, I like Calgary's defensive core a lot. Very young, a bit established as NHL players. Well, they are. They have Hannafin, they have Rasmus Anderson, all young players. They got also great veterans like Christopher Tanev, Nikita Zadorov, Mackenzie Weegar. They got Oliver Shillington now, and they still have Valimaki, which I'm not sure if he's going to be anything. I just remember playing GMO. He always used to be good, so I'm not sure about Valimaki. Might I have no clue what's going to go on with him. So if you guys know, Daryl Sutter usually rolls his D pairs not as a third line. He just rolls them. He doesn't match up. So this is what I'd say. It won't be like a third D pairing. It's like a top D pairing and like 2 second pairings, if you get my drift. Okay, so I see Noah Hannafin and Anderson on the first defensive pairing. Then I see Nikita Zadorov and Mackenzie Weegar. That's why when I said they trade for Mackenzie Weegar, this is huge. Solidifies their defensive end. They lost Giordano, who was old, but they get Mackenzie Weegar now. Now the question, will they flip it at the deadline, or will they sign him long term? He's only making $3.2 million, and if you look at their cap, Milan Lucic will be off the books after this year at $5.2 million. So that is a lot of cap. A lot of cap. They only have I think Trevor Lewis and Shillington, who are UFAs, who are important for them after this season. So I like this along their defensive end with Oliver Shillington, who is a great offensive dynamic player for a bottom pairing defenseman. So go look, he is a great transition player who has a lot of possession exit at a 98 That is insane. He's got a good shot. He's got some great scoring touch. And I see him maybe hitting the 40-point mark. Maybe not. Maybe 35. He might just put similar amount of points. He did play only 73 games, missed 9 on the season. But I like Oliver Shillington's game. He is a very underrated defenseman. And paired with Christopher Tanev last season, we saw how that worked. It worked really, really well. So he might put up similar numbers. He might put up a bit more. I see him maybe around the 35 point mark again, but a very solid acquisition. I like where Calgary is going. Now, the big thing here is Huberdeau. Now, you guys know Huberdeau is one of the best players in the league, of course. Not sure about that contract. Now, I know people shouldn't be surprised that these free agents, these top NHL players, are getting 8 years, but what I would have done it. If I'm Calgary, I would have done it. I would have done it. Not a hockey market where people say, oh, I want to play in Calgary. You want to log these type of players in. Now, Huberdeau in this time frame gives you a chance to contend. Now, I find this deal as, look, we're going to go 3-4 years in. Hopefully we can try and make the finals, make a push in the playoffs, and risk it all on the contract. 8 years, he wasn't going to accept 4 years. He wasn't going to accept 3 years. Now, his contract does kick in when he turns 30 years old. So he'll be around 37, 38 years old when this one ends. But Huberdeau, these type of players who are offensively gifted usually last longer in NHL. He is also a defensive liability out there. He doesn't really play defense. If you go look at his stats, he's only on 50 on defensive and not really a play driver. He's got some okay denials. Recovery is not good. His difficulty of roll is not there, and he's not a PK killer. But I see him also hitting the 100-point mark once again in his career. He's only 28 years old right now. I don't know if he'll hit 29 when the season starts. I haven't looked at it, but as a market like Calgary, you just lost Johnny Gaudreau. You were going to lose Tkachuk. You get Mackenzie Weegar, a prospect, and Jonathan Huberdeau, and I think they got a pick too. So this is still a win for the Calgary Flames. I like this, a gifted offensive player, a Montreal born, so that adds a little bit more to the juice. Of course, the poutine, that's why. But on a 8-year deal, it's going to be a lot to handle during those last 3 years, in my opinion. But I still see him playing good hockey at that age. I don't think, I mean, 10.5 million average a year, that is a lot of money. But we will see. These type of players will not take 3 years. Tell me in the comments down below what you guys think. I really like where Calgary are going, to be honest. With the situation that went on, they've handled this tremendously. Also, there's another thing I want to say. Daryl Sutter, if you guys didn't know, we got a graph on JFresh, okay? Here, let's go on JFresh. Let me Google this at the same time. I want to do this in one shot. Go look at JFresh. He did even say, well, in quotes as sarcasm, a poor defensive player like Huberdeau won't work in Sutter's system. If we go look at Jeff Carter and Marian Gaborik, who weren't good defensively, who still were solid on the back end because of Daryl Sutter's what would you call it, system. So man, this has been a crazy off season for the Flames, or even the NHL. A lot of news has been going on. But yeah, guys, I think that is about it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I was a bit on a rant. These are all my opinions. You guys can put your opinions in the comments down below. I do apologize on that. Which video was it? It was not the Dallas trade. It was shit. I don't actually remember. But I did look at the wrong graph. It was New York Islanders. It was Kadri to the Islanders. I did look at the wrong roster, so I do apologize. I had the wrong ages, the wrong players on, and like the wrong contracts. So I do apologize. I'll have to make better research because I really do not watch a lot of Islanders games at all. So thank you guys so much for watching. And hey, Calgary Flames fans, I get excited. Your team is pretty solid, man. Your team is pretty solid. And hopefully you guys can bring the cup back to Canada, man, because the Habs ain't winning fuck all. Anyways, thank you guys, and peace the hell out.